Hello guys, greetings from Placements Key. I welcome you all to the lecture series on TCS and QT. Now I'll be covering the exact questions that were asked on 24th October, slot 1. These are logical based questions, okay? Quant questions I have already uploaded. These are logical questions. In each of the 5 pairs of the letter clusters, the letters in the second term is rearranged or transformed form of the letters in the first term in a particular pattern, okay? In which 2 pairs has a transformation been done the same way, okay? So let's see, this is the first set of terms, right? So what is the transformation here? Here, see, we have an MA here, we have AM here, therefore they are interchanged. Yeah, their positions are interchanged. That's the first one. After which we have SON sun here, we have SON sun in the reverse order. Yeah, so that is how this is transformed. Yeah, the first two terms are, the positions of the first two terms are interchanged, whereas the next three terms are written in the reverse order. Yeah, that's how this is done. And how about party? Here also the first two terms are interchanged. Yeah, AP, PA, AP. And how about this? R is the same. The position of R has not changed, whereas the positions of the remaining two are interchanged again. Yeah, that's how it is done. Similarly, let's take the third one. We have an FA here. Again, the positions of the first two terms are interchanged, and then ULT, the remaining three alphabets are ULT, and that is written in reverse alphabetical order, ULT. Therefore clearly 1 and 3 are the same, right? The way the terms are transformed, it's the same in 1 and 3. See, here also we have A and M interchange, whereas the remaining three terms are written in reverse order. Here also AF, FA, ULT is written in the reverse order. Therefore 1 and 3 are same. So it is supposed to be option C. Let's also verify for the next terms. Okay, so this fourth term, right? So what do we have? LO. So you have LO here. Yeah, see, this is not even, like, it's completely different. For all the other terms till now, the first two alphabets are interchanged, whereas here you have LO and then you have LO, DO, LEG. Therefore this is definitely not in any of the above patterns. And then how about cargo, which is fifth one, right? Cargo. Here, see, we have a new alphabet S here. Therefore this also doesn't fall in any of the above categories. Therefore the required option is what? 1 and 3. Yeah, similar pair is 1 and 3. Okay, there are 5 rods K, L, M, N and O. The weight of L is equal to weights of K and M together. Okay, weight of L is equal to weight of K and M together. Okay, now the weight of M is twice that of K. The weight of M is twice of that of K. Okay, now the weight of N is 3 times the weight of M. The weight of N is 3 times that of M. That implies we already know M is 2K, right? So therefore we have 3 into 2K. Therefore we get the value of N as how much? It is 6K. Is that clear? Okay, so we have M as 2K and N as 6K, and then let's also see what is the value of L. L is equal to what? K plus M, right? K plus M value is 2K. Therefore we get the value of L as 2K, sorry, 3K. Yeah, so we have got all the values in terms of K, right? Okay, now the weight of O is equal to weights of N and K together. Okay, the weight of O is the weight of N and K together. So what is O? It is N is 6K plus K, so you get the value as 7K. Okay, therefore we have got all the values in terms of K. Now what are we supposed to find? We are supposed to find the weight of O if the weight of N is 90 kgs. So this value 6K is equal to 90. Therefore the value of K is 15. Okay, therefore what is O? It is 15 into 7 into 15, 7K. Yes, 7 into 15. So we get the value as how much it is? 105 kgs, which is option C. These are just equation based questions. Okay, less of logical, more of quant. Yeah. Okay, the following are the criteria of selecting a software engineer for an IT company. Okay, the candidates must have completed. So there are a few conditions. Okay, A, B, C, D and E. Let's see what those are. A, the candidate should have completed BCA with more than 70% of the marks. Okay, so BCA with more than 70%, and then his age. Regarding his age should be between 25 and 30 as of June 1st 2020. Okay, and then the third one is with respect to the marks scored in the interview. He should have scored more than 75 marks in the interview and more than 60% marks in the written test. Okay, However, there are a few more conditions. Let's say the candidate doesn't satisfy condition B. If he doesn't satisfy this condition, that is, if his age doesn't lie between 25 and 30 as on June 1st, 2020, then if this is the condition, if he has completed MCA with at least 75% marks, then his case would be referred to managing director. Is that clear? See, B is what his age should be between 25 and 30. Yeah, if this condition is not satisfied, but if he has completed MCA with at least 75% marks, his case would be referred to managing director. Okay. Similarly, what is this E? It is at C. There is an exception at C. Okay, except that is what is the C condition? He should have secured more than 75% of the marks in the interview and more than 60% marks in the written test. But if he doesn't satisfy condition C, but if he scores more than 85% marks in the BCA, then his case will be referred to CEO. Is it clear? So condition D and condition E are exceptional cases. Okay. If it doesn't satisfy condition B, then we'll check for D. If it doesn't satisfy condition C, then we'll check for E. Okay, please remember this. Now there is a guy who is Keith, who's completed BCA and MCA with 76% and 72%. Let's go in the order. Okay, what is condition A? He should have completed BCA with more than 70% marks. BCA with more than 70%. Yes, the condition A is satisfied. Okay, now what else? What is condition B? His age should be between 25 and 30 as on June 1st. Let's see. Yeah, his age is like what, 27 years as on 2019. So even if 1 year elapses, still his age would be 28. That falls between 25 and 30. So condition B is also satisfied. If condition B is satisfied, then condition D we need not check at all. Yeah, that's what we told, right? If condition B satisfies, D we need not check. Okay, so let's take condition C. You should have secured more than 75% marks in the interview. Let's see what is his marks in the interview. 78% marks. Yes, that is satisfied. And then more than 60% marks in the written test. In the written test, he has got 65, which is more than 60. Therefore, condition C is also satisfied. That is, we need not have to check for condition E. So all the three conditions are satisfied. Therefore, he would be selected. Is it clear? Fine. Let's move on to the next one. There are 5 people, Nehal, Iqbal, Ronit, Malini and Harbhajan, who participate in any of the 5 activities. So these are the 5 activities. Yeah, quiz, singing, dance, debate and mimicry. Now there are a few conditions. Now we are supposed to find who participates in debate. Now let's see. Let's take the direct clues. Okay, Ronit participates in singing. So directly Ronit participates in singing. Okay, that is eliminated. Then what else? Iqbal participates in quiz. Iqbal participates in quiz. Okay, this is also done. After that, we know that Harbhajan does not participate in debate and mimicry. So only 3 remaining are these, out of which Harbhajan does not participate in debate nor in mimicry. Therefore, Harbhajan should participate in dance. Okay, dance is also done. Then Malini does not participate in mimicry. Malini does not participate in mimicry. We only have debate and mimicry left. Therefore, she should participate in debate. That implies Nehal should participate in mimicry. Okay, now all the conditions are filled. Who participates in debate? Clearly Malini participates in debate. Therefore, it is option A. Yeah, Malini participates in debate. Okay, what is wrong? The wrong term in the following series. We have CMQ, FPT, so on and so forth. Yeah. So how do we solve such questions? It's very simple. We'll always, it's always better to indicate the position numbers of the alphabets. That is, A is 1, B is 2, so on and so forth. Yeah. It's always better to indicate the position numbers so that you'll clearly convert this in terms of numbers. So numbers are easy to understand, right? Therefore, let's convert this. So what do we get? CMQ. Okay. So for CMQ, what do we get? C is what? C is 3, M is 13, and then Q is 17. I know the values, so I'm writing it directly. It's always better to remember the values as such. FPT. Let's see. What is F? F is 6, P is 16, T is 20. See, you also can form mnemonics. Okay, T is for 20, T20 matches. Yeah, T20. Similarly, M is in the form of 3, right? So it is 13. Similarly, W is also in the form of 3, so you can write it as 23. Something like that. Yeah, you can always remember form such mnemonics. Okay. Okay, let me take JTX. JTX J, it is 10, T 20, just now we have seen. X is what? 20, V is 22, WX is 24, yeah, W is 23, so X has to be 24. Okay, so let's also take OYC. O is 15, and then Y is 25, and then C is 3. Okay, similarly, what do we have? U, F and I. So U is 21, F is 6, and then I is 9. Okay, let's see if you clearly observe. Let's take the series here. If you see that, like take the first two numbers. 3 plus 10 is 13. Here also 6 plus 10 is 16. Here also 10 plus 10 is 20. Here also 15 plus 10 is 25. Let's take this U and F. We have a 21 and we have a 6. We know that there are 26 alphabets, right? So therefore we can add 26 to it and check the number. Okay, 26 plus 6, so we have F as what? 32. Let me write it below. Okay, 21. 6 is what? 26 plus 6, so which is 32, and 9 is what? 26. 9 plus 9, that is 35. Okay, these are the values. Okay, so what can we do here? It is 21 plus 11 and not plus 10. So clearly from the first two numbers itself we can say that option what? Option D is the odd man out, which is UF5. But still, let's also verify this. 13 plus 17, so we have a plus 4 here. Okay, for the second and third numbers, plus 4. Here also 16, 20 plus 4. Here also 20, 24 plus 4. Here also 25 and 3. 3, just add 26 to it. Okay, you get 29. Again 25 and 29, again you have plus 4. Similarly, let's check it here. 32 and 35, you only have plus 3. So it's not satisfying both the conditions. Therefore, clearly option D is the odd man out. Which of the following patterns of boxes can be formed when the sheet given below is folded? Okay, so it's very simple. You need to know a few concepts here, which is, see, whenever you unfold a cube, this is how it is of the form. Yeah, so as a shortcut I'm just saying, okay, G, this value and this will always be opposite to each other, the one in the alternate positions. Okay, after G we have P, leave P, we have U. Therefore G and P are opposite to each other, should be opposite. Okay, similarly the alternate positions, what else do we have? We have P and we also have A, which are in alternate positions here. Therefore P and A are also opposite to each other. Is it clear? G and U are opposite to each other. Similarly P and A are opposite to each other. G and U, right? I'm sorry, this G and U are opposite to each other, and then P and A are opposite to each other. Now what is the remaining? We only have N and M, therefore they should also be opposite to each other. Okay, so this is the concept. Now if you look at it, please remember that the faces that are adjacent to each other, or the faces that are opposite to each other can never be adjacent to each other. Think about it. Two opposite faces, however you rotate, will they be adjacent to each other? No. So please remember this. These are opposite faces. Okay, I'll repeat what I just told. See, the one in the alternate positions will always be opposite. So we have a G and U. So these are opposite to each other. Similarly, we have P and A, which are alternate. Therefore, they should be opposite to each other. Now the only set which is remaining is N and M. Therefore, these two should also be opposite. And the faces which are opposite can never be adjacent. So these are the concepts. Okay, now let's see. Let's take the first one. See here what is happening. G and U are adjacent here. Yeah, G is on the top face, U is on the front face. So G and U are adjacent to each other. So this can never be answer because G and U are opposite to each other. Similarly, let's take the third condition. If you take the third condition, we have N and M. We know that they are opposite to each other, whereas here N and M are adjacent to each other. N is on the top face, M is on the right side face. Yeah, so they are adjacent in this case, so which is not correct. Similarly, let's take the fourth condition. P and A are there, which are adjacent to each other, but we know P and A are opposite to each other, so they can never be adjacent. Therefore this is also incorrect. Therefore clearly second way of writing is correct. Okay, when it is folded. See, if you check it here, P and U, they can be adjacent to each other. P and M can be adjacent, U and M can be adjacent. Only these pairs can't be adjacent to each other. Okay, Therefore, clearly option 2 is the answer. In the following diagram, the triangle stands for males. Okay, let me write that here. Males, we have triangles. Okay, and then for doctors, what is it? We have circles. And then government employees, what is it? It is rectangle. And then we have corona warriors. So how much is it? It is, what is the symbol? It is hexagon. Okay. Now, what are we supposed to find? How many government employed doctors are corona warriors but are not males? Now, see, how many government employed doctors are there? See, these are government employees. Okay. Now, in that, we should take the circle, the intersection of the rectangle and circle. Yeah, because this total is government employed. In that, we are supposed to find how many doctors are there. So we'll take the intersection of these two. So that is this value. Yeah, if you check the figure here, we have a rectangle here, which is government employed. Yeah, and then doctors is what? This circle. So if you take these two intersections, so what do we get? We get these values. I'm just indicating here: 35, 14, 22 and 16. See here, this is the part which is common to both circle as well as the rectangle, who are government employed doctors. Now, how many government employed doctors are corona warriors? They should also be corona warriors. Corona warriors is what? We have hexagon. So now we should also check the intersection with the hexagon. So now out of these four, which are also part of the hexagon? See, clearly 22 and 16 are also part of hexagon. See, this is the hexagon that we have. Okay, so clearly 22 and 16 are part of hexagon as well. Therefore, the rest we are eliminating. These two are eliminated because they are not corona warriors. Okay, so now how many government employed doctors are corona warriors? That is fine, but they should not be males. That means they should not be a part of triangle. See, out of these two, which is not a part of triangle? Yeah, 16 is not a part of triangle, whereas 22 is the part of triangle. So 22 are males. What represents 22? They are government employed doctors and are also corona warriors, but they are males. So this is also eliminated because we need the value who are not males. Therefore, clearly 16 is the only one which is common to all these. Therefore, what is the right count? It is 16. Okay, in a certain code, A percentage B means A is a brother of B. This is a blood relations based question. Yeah, and then A ampersand B is what? A is the mother of B, so on and so forth. There's a condition that is given. Now we should find how is T related to U. Before that, I'll give out a few basics, which is what? A square always represents a male. So you can form your own conventions, but this is how I usually solve. Okay, and then circle is for female, and then this is for the next generation, whereas this is for the sibling relation, and this is for the husband-wife relationship. Okay, so these are the conventions that I usually follow. You can form your own conventions here, whichever you're comfortable with. I'm converting the same thing into this wording format so that it's easy for me to draw the family tree. K is the father of Z. So K is father, so male, right? So father of Z. So this is the next generation, right? Of Z. Okay. Now Z is a brother of U. Z is a brother. So Z is a brother of brother is equal to relation. Yeah, sibling of U. Who is the mother of H? U is the mother of H. U is the mother of H. H is the sister of N. H is the sister of N. N is the daughter of T. N is the daughter of T. So N is the daughter of T. Okay, this is what we have. See, clearly H and N are siblings, and then U is the mother of H and N. Therefore, and also N is the daughter of T. Therefore, clearly T should be the father of H and N. That is, T and U should be married. That is, T and U should be husband and wife. Yeah. Now, how is T related to U? T is the husband of U. Husband of U. So, which is option B. T is the husband of U. I hope this is clear for everyone. Next, we have DI based questions. Okay. The number of employees working in 6 different departments of 2 companies. There are 2 companies, there are 6 different departments, yes. And then the number of employees working in each department is given. Now what is given here? If 30 employees of the planning department quit company B. So from company B, 30 are leaving. Okay. And then they join the planning department of company A. So these guys join the planning department of company A. Therefore, if 30 left from planning, so obviously from total also 30 is reduced. And then these 30 have joined planning department of company A. Therefore, the total number of employees also increases to plus 30. So effectively, what are we supposed to find? We are supposed to find the percentage of the employees in the planning department in the total employees in company A. That is, what is the percentage of this out of total is what we are supposed to find. So therefore, what is the required percentage? The required percentage is what? 46 plus 30, that is 76, divided by 1202 plus 30, that is 1232 into 100. So this is what we are supposed to find. I've already computed the value. It comes down to around 6.16%. Okay, so which is option B. Very simple calculation. 76 by 1232 into 100. That's it. You get the answer. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. It's on the same set. Okay. What is the percentage difference between employees working in production department of company A and company B? So first we should find the percentage of the people who are working in production department in A. Then we should find the percentage of people working in production department in company B. Then we should find out the difference. Okay, let's see. What is the percentage of employees working in production department in company A? So what is it? 504 out of total employees is 1202 into 100. Okay, so if you calculate it, you get around 41.93%. You can always use an on-screen calculator for such computations, yeah, because they are kind of difficult to compute manually. Similarly, let's calculate the percentage of employees working in production department in company B, which is how much? 736 by total count is 1694 into 100. Okay, and you get this value as around 43.45%. Okay, what are we supposed to find? We are supposed to find the percentage difference between these two, the absolute difference. So how much is it? We get the required difference as 43.45% minus 41.93%, and we get this value approximately around 1.52%. Okay, so which is what? Option C. So these DI based questions are all about calculations. The concept is very simple. Thank you everyone. Let's meet in the second part.